Welcome to this edition of the Douglas County School District Growing Together podcast. We will be talking to leaders, educators, specialists, and community members about topics that matter to our students, our schools, and our community. Let's jump into this week's episode as we grow together.
Well, welcome to 10 Meaningful Minutes. My name's Lori Lacombe, Healthy Schools Coordinator in Douglas County. I'm here with my buddy, Aaron Reagan.
Hi, Lori.
How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. The 3-day weekend was nice.
Oh, yes,
Kind of needed a little recharge.
Yeah.
Well, we're so lucky today, Aaron. Thanks for bringing in Tiffany Anderson from Sierra Middle School. She is a C4P. Is this your second or third year?
A little bit in between. This is my second and a half year
Awesome.
Into the role.
Wonderful. Well, we're really glad that you're here with us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
How about we start with letting us know, what does a C4P mean in Douglas County?
Yeah. So I always joke C4P, it kind of reminds me of like C3PO. So I have this funny Star Wars reference at my office door. But C4P, it stands for Counselor for Prevention. And so at every middle school in the district, we do have a Counselor for Prevention who does a lot of different things. But mainly what we focus on is substance use prevention, mental health prevention, mostly suicide prevention, as well as community resources. And so we focus a lot on those three areas. And what's so nice about it is because our role is just focused on prevention, we can really help support all the other counselors in the building who are busy working one-on-one with students, because we all know how time-consuming that really is.
Yes, and this is a grant.
Yes, this is actually a grant-funded position from the state. And so the way it works is it has been with the Douglas County School District from the 2016-17 school year all the way through the end of this school year. And we are looking into getting it renewed again as well. Kind of looking at the same things, but also being a little bit more focused on Tier 2, so working on small groups and really honing in on what are the issues that we can help with in the prevention world in middle school.
Wonderful. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Sure it'll go.
Thank you.
And Tiffany, I'm just wondering, as you've done this work, is there anything that stands out in your mind as something you're particularly proud of, or an event that went really well?
Sure. There's so many things, and I think it's just a learning experience from doing prevention work. But one of the really big things that we focus on at Sierra Middle School specifically is a program called Sources of Strength. And Sources of Strength is a peer-led program. And in a nutshell, what it is a group of adults and students who come together whose mission is to spread hope, help, and strength. And we focus on a really colorful visual. It's kind of known as the wheel, and there's different strengths that range from positive friends to mental health to medical access. And so as a group of students and adults, they lead campaigns every month to kind of raise awareness and to really spread positivity in the building, because we've learned through not so good things like social media that things can spread like wildfire. And so if negative things can spread, we're pretty sure that positive things can spread just as fast. And so we focus quite a bit on that. And every year we focus on healthy activities, and we do that through a healthy activities night. And so this past January on the 23rd, we hosted our 4th annual healthy activities night. It was led by all these students. They came up with the ideas of what stations would be helpful to get students to really reflect on what are healthy activities and why are they important in my life? Why is that a strength that I need? And so the stations ranged from stress ball making, we had a mindfulness station, we had more active stations for those who really like exercise like basketball and volleyball, and we had glitter jar making and just a lot of different really healthy activities. And we were really happy to see that we had over 300 people attend our event. And so that was just kind of amazing to kind of see all of the work that these students had put on really pay off and be part of the community. I forgot to mention we also had a smoothie station. So it was also really fun for parents and students to kind of come together, enjoy a healthy snack, and really focus on healthy activities.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It was a fun time.
It's a great turnout.
Yes.
So Tiffany, let me ask you this. as a counselor and somebody who works with kids, if you could deliver, like wave a magic wand and have all parents internalize one message or one understanding, what would that be?
You know, I think really what it boils down to in any type of prevention that I work in or the students that I talk to, it's so important for parents to really listen to what their students are saying. And that's not necessarily meaning like directly what students are saying, but through their actions, through maybe what they're not saying. I think it's so easy in our society in general to be distracted by the things going on, the things that we need to do, possibly our cell phones. And so I think it's just so important to check in with your kids, make sure they're doing okay. Be those conversation starters. Don't just rely on your kid to tell you what's going on, and be there to listen when they do tell you.
That's excellent.
You know what? It's a theme, Erin. Do you notice that we've had
It
a
is.
few podcasts where that seems to be a really strong message coming from a lot of these 10 meaningful minutes, is the importance of listening to your kids and just being present with them. So I'm so glad that you brought that up today.
Sure.
Last question, Tiffany.
Sure.
With regard to students, to kids, what message would you want kids to internalize if you could wave a magic wand and have them understand one thing? What would that be?
It's kind of the same with the advice that I'm giving parents, is just to don't be afraid to reach out for help. That could look a lot of different ways. It doesn't even necessarily need to be for a really serious issue. It's so easy to get stuck into like kind of a tunnel vision and to think, I need to solve my own problem. I'm gonna make this work on my own. And sometimes the best thing that you could do as a student, or just as a person in general, is just to reach out and get help from someone else, or seek advice from someone else, whether that's a positive friend or a trusted adult. But it's important to interact with people and reach out for help when you need it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming today, Tiffany.
You're
And
welcome.
before we end, I feel like you're probably a plethora of resources. Maybe a couple you could share with us right now while we're being recorded, but also you'll also send us some that we can post with this podcast. But are there any events coming up or any books we should read?
Absolutely.
What do you got?
Oh my goodness, there's so much information out there. I just came from a conference in San Francisco, and there's just so much I'd love to share. But if I had to boil it down to a couple of things, there is a really good resource on how to start conversations with students, and I'd be happy to share that. And it's just really some easy tips and tricks with how to get started talking to your teenager specifically, but it can be applied to younger students as well. And one of the things that I do as a counselor for prevention is I work with other counselors in the Parker area specifically to host upcoming events. We call it our Healthy Teen Series. We do have a speaker who's coming in to speak about self-confidence and body image as it relates to teenage girls, as that's a big issue for a lot of our teenage girls, the pressure of fitting in and looking a certain way. And so we do have a parent talk on that we're hosting at Sagewood on March 4th at 8 a.m. So it is definitely an early one. We will have coffee and bagels there. And also a free resource, a book called Untangled for the first 25 parents who register. So I'll make sure that I include the flyer, which will have the link to register. And then we have a really big event coming up. We have Amy Morin, who is a international best-selling author. She wrote the book 13 Things That Mentally Strong Parents Don't Do. She also has a book about 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. And she will be coming to Parker and speaking to parents for an hour at 6:30 on Wednesday, April 8th at the Parker Pace Center. So that is a big one to mark your calendars for. She is an amazing speaker, and she travels worldwide to come speak to parents. So it's pretty cool. She's coming into Douglas County to speak to parents, and she will also have a Q&A. Her book will be available for sale at that event as well.
And will parents be able to register for this? Is that
Yes.
how you get a seat?
Absolutely. So we're hoping for a big turnout. Definitely will be a popular event, so you will want to RSVP as soon as possible, and that will also be on the flyer that I will make sure to send out.
Well, Tiffany, thank you so much, Erin. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.